Hitman is a game about a bold man penetrating his targets, so today I wondered if it was possible to beat the modern Hitman trilogy with Agent 47's big, round, succulent balls. The rules are simple. We must take out the targets with balls. If it's round and I can fondle it, then I can use it. We will also be allowing 47 to use 2 shots of his silver baller per level before he has to enter a refractory period. However, these shots cannot directly kill the targets. And with that, let's start the challenge. But first, why don't you subscribe to help me get more subscribers than the IRS? Hitman opens in Paris, where we meet French people, and we choose our loadout. The balls Agent 47 brings include both the exploding golf ball and baseball, along with his signature silver baller. Paris was a simple mission. 47 walked past a news crew who were complimenting him on his voluptuous balls, and then he waited in a crowd for the very first target to walk down the stairs. He did not hesitate. The second the target appeared, 47 opened his pantaloons and gave him one of his dangly round things before sprinting away, climbing a shaft and encountering the second target on the top floor. Initially, I wanted to use Agent 47's 2 silver ball shots to activate the fire alarm, but having worse aim than a middle-aged man using the urinal, I missed both shots and our man had to undergo a substantial refractory period. In the end, Agent 47 just went with the approach of giving his target his round, tender thing before escaping the French people. After the great bowling of Paris, Agent 47 was arrested and put in a mental institution due to his extreme need to interface his balls with everything. But sadly, it didn't take long before he managed to use his peen as a lockpick and escape all the way to our next location, Sapienza. In this mission, I had my very first death of the challenge run. Why, you may ask? Well, I forgot the controls. But upon reloading, I used one of Agent 47's silver nuts to kneecap a guard, bringing him down to our level and stealing his outfit before running all the way to the back of the mansion, entering a castle and having 47 put his ball in the nearest hole he could find. Luckily, it was a cannon, and now that it was loaded, we took aim and fired at one of the targets, killing him. With the first target dead, Agent 47 wanted out of Sapienza, so he instantly ran to Francesca and gave her the simplest, fastest balling ever seen by man before running down to a lab, rushing into the virus room and throwing 47's final ball at it before escaping the schizophrenic guards shooting a bench and flying away, finishing the mission. We continue on to Marrakesh, which opens up with Spider-Man conveniently telling us about how his dad has the master key to the school.
Still carries around the master key. You know, the one that fits all the locks?
Which we liberate from his unconscious flesh sack. With this master key, 47 was able to do a quick line to increase his power and make his way to the school where he finds his first target, Jimmy Savile. Being notorious for hanging around schools, Agent 47 knew Jimmy had to go, and so he turned on the intercom to get him to investigate a secluded location before pushing him out a window. At this moment, I remembered this was supposed to be a challenge, so I reloaded and placed one of Agent 47's balls at the man's feet, killing him once again. With the notorious nonce gone, 47 ran to the next target through a series of underground tunnels, making it to the embassy where the other target resides. With international tensions being at an all-time high, the target was placed on lockdown the second he saw a bold man trespass for a nanosecond. But, in fairness, if I saw a bold man sprinting at me with his balls out, I would want to run too. After chasing the target back into the tunnels, 47 unleashed his nut at him before finally escaping and finishing the mission. At this point, 47 was already getting sick of all the ball jokes and decided to go on a little vacation in Bangkok. 47 came here with hopes of a holiday and not paying his taxes, but then his urge came back. The urge to give 2 very specific men his balls. His first target was found walking around the lobby. This man was everything 47 hated. He embodied capitalist greed, and so he reverted to his old ways and threw a ball at him before getting gunned down. Upon further attempts, 47 managed to throw his ball and get away unnoticed before going upstairs and shooting a fire extinguisher with his 2 ball shots to breach open a door. With the way upstairs now open, we took a disguise and went to find Agent 47's other target and kindly asked him to suck on 47's fleshy jawbreaker. 47 had to escape as now ICE were after him. They were desperate to get him to join their ranks. Agent 47 was many things, but he was not a fascist, and so he went on the run to his next location, Colorado. Sadly, a group of ICE agents followed 47 all the way there, and these were his targets: However, there were 4 of them and 47 only had 2 balls, so for this mission we needed to think outside the box. As he entered the compound, 47 was starting to get a bit hungry and encountered a hanging bale of hay. Deciding it was worth it, he wasted one of his silver ball shots on it, but luckily one ICE agent walked right underneath it and the hay bale killed them instantly through an act of God. This left only 3 targets. As I went to the next target, I racked my brain thinking of a way to take him out without wasting one of my balls, but after attempting to shoot an explosive propane tank and reloading since it didn't kill him, I just decided to make this ICE agent eat my ball. With only 1 ball left but 2 targets, we had to once again think. So, in order to buy myself some thinking time, I had Agent 47 roleplay as a mechanic on this random lawnmower before giving in and throwing my final ball at one more target. This put me in a difficult situation as I was out of balls and there was 1 target left. We had nothing left to use, but as I was thinking about a way to kill the target miraculously blew himself up out of fear that he would one day be held accountable for his actions as a member of ICE. With the targets out the way, Agent 47 decided he would return to his holiday at a new location in Hokkaido with a slight detour planned to visit the seal Mashiro. But once again, 47's urge returned. There were 2 people here who fit the bill of greedy capitalists, and 47 wanted them gone. Luckily, this save has Hokkaido at mastery level 20, so there was no problem at all bringing in 47's balls. As he left his room, he encountered his first target, and since she was in the open, she didn't pose any sort of challenge and instantly sucked on one of his balls. The next step was to penetrate the hospital's defences in order to get to the next target. To do this, 47 had to acquire a disguise, which we managed to lift without anybody seeing a single suspicious thing, and as we got further into the hospital, we took a surgeon's outfit, giving us full access to Eric's sodas. 47 hated what this man stood for, and having recently been revealed to be in the Epstein files, 47 did not hesitate to throw one of his big meaty balls right at him, putting the prolific nonce down and allowing us to exit the level. We have now officially started Hitman 2 and headed straight to New Zealand, where Agent 47 decided to try out a new career. He has decided to give burglary a shot, and so we infiltrated the house, but as he stole someone's personal data, a new target arrived. Realising this was another member of ICE, 47 just couldn't leave her be, so he used one of his balls to place the target on lockdown before using his powerful nut to gas the lockdown room, knocking out the target. Sadly, as we tried to enter the lockdown room, we realised it was locked from the inside with no way to get in, so after reloading I went back to just throwing the ball at her, and on our way out of the mission we had to use one of 47's ball bullets to create an explosion, allowing us to escape the level. Knowing burglary doesn't work for him, 47 went back to what he does best, putting his balls in people's faces. And so, he entered Miami looking for his next targets, a big CEO and a race car driver. 47 took a military man's uniform and waltzed right into the CEO's building, using a silver ball bullet to erase the cams and then killing the CEO with the old reliable ball face technique. For the next target, I had a master plan. There was a catwalk right above the racetrack, giving us full access to the driver. But as I attempted to throw my balls on her windscreen, I realised a sad fact. I am in fact washed. No matter how many times I tried, I just couldn't land one of my balls on her car. But after many reloads, I actually managed to land one, which did absolutely nothing. I was distraught, traumatised, and a little bit bald, but in the end, I just made the executive decision to go and make some bread until the race was finished.
Bread.
After 15 minutes of kneading and waiting around, the race was finally over, and 47 could run straight to the target and ball her before escaping in the ambulance. This gave us an overall mission time of 37 minutes, but hey, at least the bread was good. After killing such notable rich people, ICE was back on Agent 47's trail, but this time they weren't out to get him to join, they wanted blood. 47 knew this and he realised he had to do something about it, and so he headed to Colombia to put a wrench in their drug operations. This location had 3 targets, but 47 still only had 2 balls, so once again we had to think of another way to get rid of one of the targets while still abiding by the rules of the challenge. Luckily, Agent 47 had an intense hatred for plants, and he decided to shoot a plant pot, which fell and killed one of the targets. Thankful for this act of God, we went to the next target where 47 got gunned down for just existing. Upon reloading, we got a disguise and threw our balls at both the remaining targets one at a time before escaping the mission. These kills set a chain of events into motion. ICE would now stop at nothing to hunt down Agent 47, and he knew it, so he continued his journey hunting them back down to Mumbai. This location was a unique one as we don't actually know the identity of one of the targets off the bat, so we had to go around and identify who the maelstrom was. This was another 3-target mission, so we once again had to get creative. As we ventured through the streets of Mumbai, 47 saw something that caught his eye. It was an advertisement for Viagra. Knowing the effects worked all too well, he decided to save the general population by using one of his silver ball bullets on the sign, but as it fell, we encountered another act of God. The Viagra sign struck and killed the maelstrom, leaving us with 2 targets and 2 balls to spare. With our spare balls, we sprinted to the train yard, gave one of our balls to a target, and then gave the other target our other ball before escaping Mumbai with ICE still hot on Agent 47's trail. With things getting worse and worse for 47, he realised he needed to make ICE believe he was one of them. So he headed down to Whittleton Creek with the intention of killing an old man in cold blood to make ICE believe 47 is one of their own agents. With Whittleton Creek being a simple open area, we managed to take out this random geezer with a simple throw of 47's balls before rushing into some random old codger's house and killing him by farting in his oxygen tank. That and the explosive ball. Sadly, for some reason, the mission wouldn't end right there and I had to go and gather some clues, which actually took longer than killing the targets, but in the end, we managed to do it and escape. Now that 47 has killed somebody without reason, ICE no longer perceived him as a threat. This leads us to our next location, Ambrose Island, where 47 wanted to deal with some more oligarchs. Here, there was 2 targets, and it was just a simple mission where they both gobbled 47's sack before we did some computer sabotage and escaped. But as 47 sabotaged this computer, he saw an invite to a party on another island. This party was only known as a Diddy party. Now you might be asking, what did he do? Well, knowing this party had to be stopped, 47 headed right to the island of Seagull in order to put some more nonces down. This was another simple mission, but as soon as we loaded in, we got caught trespassing, leading us to restart, as it would have been too much of a ball ache to improvise from a failure that early on. On our second attempt, we decided to run into the party and blow up the 2 main nonces before escaping, and that's it, that's all there was to it. 47 couldn't stand to be at that party for any longer and vowed to continue to rid the world of nonces and billionaires. He ventured to New York to face his next target, Epstein's sister, Jeffette Epstein. Luckily, this mission only had 1 target, but we had another added objective of stealing Mrs. Epstein's hard drive in order to reveal who exactly went to her private island. This mission really wasn't anything special. We headed to the target, threw one of 47's balls through a magic glorious hole in the door, killing her, before going to the vault and having 47 use his magical nut on the air conditioning, knocking out all the guards. This allowed 47 to run in and grab the hard drive, before sprinting out of the bank while fully under fire. Luckily, the guards just gave up their pursuit as we walked out the bank's front door. With Mrs. Epstein's hard drive now in 47's hands, he discovers Epstein's island still has some clients on it. So, he made the executive decision to travel there and rid the world of these nonces at the place known as Haven Island. This location once again had 3 targets, so we had to come up with a new, unique way of dispatching at least one of them. At the start of the mission, we tried to kneecap one of the clients in a way that made them fall into the water. Sadly, I couldn't get them to land in the right direction, which led me to reloading this mission many times. It was here that I remembered a famous Hitman glitch which would make this level child's play. The gun law glitch would allow any of the targets to follow Agent 47 to the ends of the earth if they see him pick up a gun with the right timing. I was planning on using this glitch to lure a target into a secure location in order to ball them. However, on our first attempt, one of Epstein's clients overreacted and instantly went into lockdown. Deciding this strategy wouldn't work on this target, I decided it was best to try it on another. As 47 approached this new target, he placed his gun down on the floor and picked it up as soon as he noticed it. This miraculously worked exactly as planned, and this other client was now following 47 to the ends of the earth. Naturally, we walked into the ocean and decided to use 47's 2 silver ball shots to kneecap both the target and his guard, leading them to fall into the ocean and drown. Seeing that the target and his guard refused to get up, I'd like to think of this kill as a suicide rather than it being the fault of 47. Regardless, 47 still had 2 notorious nonces to get rid of, and so he ran to the target he met earlier and balled her before running to the next target, doing the same and escaping Epines Island. Entering Hitman 3, Agent 47 decided to head to Dubai, otherwise known as Rich People's Benidorm, where he continued to prune the world of nonces found on Epines' hard drive. Before this mission, 47 got a job on the Burj Khalifa fixing the sound systems and giving him a new starting location. Luckily, one of the targets was only a hop, skip and a jizz away from the starting location, allowing 47 to give him a ball before climbing to the top of the Burj Khalifa and doing the same thing to the other rich nonce before jumping off the building and escaping. This was a remarkably easy mission, but things wouldn't stay this way for long. 47's next stop was none other than good old England, where his next target resides. This target was none other than Princess Andrew. Luckily, this mission only had the one target, but as Agent 47 climbed to the top of her mansion, he saw something that deeply disturbed him. It was a chandelier made from antlers. Now, 47 hated all things taxidermy and decided it was worth it to waste one of his silver ball bullets on the chandelier, but due to another act of God, Princess Andrew was standing underneath it and was crushed by the thing. As amusing as 47 found this, he also had to steal a file, but he didn't have the safe code, so being the bad man that he is, 47 decided to type in the name of his favourite band, the 1975, and miraculously it worked. It unlocked the safe and allowed 47 to escape the mission. 47's next stop was a nightclub in Berlin, where he decided to prepare for this mission by getting a job as a biker. This gave him full access to the lower levels of the nightclub. This mission was simple: take out 5 ICE agents who were protecting nonces. The challenge of this mission was how the hell would 47 take out all 5 with only 2 balls? But shortly into the level, I came up with a plan. Firstly, we had 47 clear out the club owner's room and disguise himself as him before creating an electrical hazard and collecting a propane tank. Luckily, 47's fun electrical experiment caused one of the agents to die of shock, leaving only 4 remaining. The rest of the plan was simple: lay out the propane tank in a place where it can do the most damage before throwing balls all over the place. With everything set up, we finally set the plan into motion by getting 47 to call a meeting with the agents. However, it was here that 47 learnt something vital about his past. The agents told him the reason for his hatred of the rich. It wasn't because he was a simple hitman, it was because he was in fact Karl Marx. Deep down, 47 knew this was true, but he didn't care and proceeded to flip the table for cover as he threw enough balls to make the nonce Bonnie Blue blush. Sadly, after unleashing a barrage of balls, we only killed 3 of the 4 remaining targets, with the last one being rendered unconscious. Agent 47 needed a way to ball this last target, but as he was searching for a way to kill him, 47 picked up a brick of C4. Wondering what would happen if he shot it with his silver ball bullet, he placed it under his final target and shot it. This blew up the C4, killing the final target and allowing us to escape this mission. Knowing ice would always be a problem, 47 decided it was finally time to do something about it, which led him to China in order to dismantle the organisation once and for all. Before this mission, 47 got a temp gig as a security guard in order to get closer to the targets, who just so happened to be the heads of ICE. Without wasting a single second, 47 disguised himself as a scientist and balled one of the heads before heading down to their head office, getting frisked by somebody who enjoyed it a bit too much.
Feels good, huh? Bet it does, pretty boy.
And waited for the perfect opportunity to strike, blowing up the other head of ICE with his final ball. With ICE in disarray and knowing they would completely collapse without guidance, 47 went off to Mendoza to congratulate himself with a glass of wine. Sadly, there is no rest for the wicked, and Agent 47 caught wind of there being one final nonce that needed to go, but in order to get to him, he needed to take out 2 of his cronies. Unfortunately, 47's balls are so explosive, and one of the targets was being closely followed by Diana, meaning we had to throw one of these balls very carefully. After missing the first throw and reloading, we managed to take out one of the targets without hurting Diana, before moving to the second target, who had a good taste of some sung in these nuts before we escaped the penultimate level. With every other prolific rich nonce out the way, all that remained was one. It was none other than Mr. Redacted. Sadly, this mission took part on a train after 47 was castrated, meaning we could not bring in any balls no matter what I did. As 47 snuck through to the end of the train, I started to wonder, was this challenge all for naught? Did I really fail at the final level? But as I got to the end, I realised 47 didn't have to kill Mr. Redacted. He could instead chemically castrate him and erase his memory, making him forget that he is in fact a rich nonce. Since we didn't have to kill this final target, we technically managed to beat this trilogy using only Agent 47's balls, but that just wasn't a satisfying ending for me, so I reloaded a save and booted the twat off a train. With the mission over once again, Agent 47 now had a new mission and a new purpose: to get his balls back, no matter what.